This is a poem called Edecaytion. It starts early, before a person has a say, whisked away into the 8-hour a day, sitting, listening, receiving, absorbing, swallowing, having information thrown and thrown and thrown your way. And the idyllic hope of having it stay in your brain at least for the next decade, but if anything I've been force-fed still lies within, it has a pretty good cloaking device. To wit, mine eyes remember the bent and straight lines, the fascinating designs that functions would make on a graph look like a journey across a map, but ask me to remember what lies behind the design of the line, and I would sigh and take my time in answering that particular rhyme, because truth is, I just didn't find it worth the time to recognize and find something that I did not mind not knowing about, but was being shoved down my throat when I'd rather be spending my time writing down words or constructing a rhyme, but you can't get graded on everything. In fact, there are only a small minority of things deemed relevant and concrete in today's society. Language, math, science are the only feats useful to living the dream, the American's dream, that you should all be dreaming every night when you are sleeping, and you should be bleeding red, white, and blue, seeping out your veins, and not thinking and saying that half my life has been devoted to this game, a selective strengthening of the membrane, so that one day I can safely say to a person coming my way, hey, I've done it, neighbor. I've lived the dream of dreams, a house, a job, a family, and nothing in between. Mow my lawn, suburbia, and wait for the next hernia. Born of lifting that new couch, coffee table, desk, lamp, refrigerator, microwave into the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom cave that I stand captain of along with my queen. And every day at about 5:43 we arrive back, she having just picked up the children from their elementary cave where they are learning their ABCs and counting to threes and the science behind the trees. But never mind going out and planting one or saving some. Best watch from behind the glass. Best focus on mathematics and how best to fit into the world of capital mass and receive a letter to decide if you pass. And let's focus on that, shall we? Revert back in our memory, shall we? The end of the year comes, and with it groans and moans and many phones calling homes, because the time of droning speeches about flipping burgers and answering phones, not being the dream you adore. You've got more in store: business titan, office worker, tinker, tailor, soldier, spy. Now stop dreaming about sleeping under the sky. The only life worth living is the one that's defined with a constant smartphone by your side. 20 years of absorbing information still fresh in your mind, talking and talking and talking and talking down your throat. Why don't you remember any of this? I told you to take notes, write down the memorable quotes, do the reading and the listening, and don't forget about the test next Monday. So study Tuesday through Sunday. You'll have 2 hours to sit on your ass and regurgitate it all on the paper to pass. And you'd better remember the fall of the Roman Empire. We reviewed it all. Why isn't it still in your brain? Let me open your head and invite the whole world to examine what's wrong with your membrane. Oh, I see. Class, listen closely. There's only so much room up here in the brain, and if you fill it with uselessness, such as lyrics, music, and foolishness, stories, characters, and other hooligans, there will be no room for the quadratic formula, table of elements, and dates of every major battle of the American Revolution, such as this lad here. He's filled his head, and oh dear, he can't seem to remember too clear, and thus will fail, which is an F. And once that F has been branded, everybody knows, and you're reprimanded. The circumstances are left stranded, and your image is backhanded. You're not capable, and more time is demanded to catch up to the good kids that listen. And even if you do play, go along with the system in place and pray that a good college education will come your way, even if you do all you can to stay within the boundaries laid in place. When the time comes for the schooling that actually teaches the college experience that supposedly leaves you speechless, when you get a say in the speeches you hear every day while on the bleachers of the My Wild College classroom, there's still hell to pay in the form of $500 a day. And after years of doing everything they say, the game changed, and now the places you go to whom you will show your potential depends on how deep your pockets extend and where your patience ends. Those willing to pay off for the next decade can make amends, but those left out to dry with no rich friends or scholarship that chose them, what about them? They might have given it their all, but there are only so many that'll go where they want in the fall. Off to College Incorporated, the business of teaching. Less about giving and more about the profits they're reaching. And maybe all of this is fine to a great many outside, but in my mind's eye, I can't ever feel comfortable in the hands of a nation with a system of education.